Hi.
Hello. This episode is about enjoying the process.
And if you want to enjoy the process of liking and subscribing and leaving a review or commenting, that would be awesome. And if you also want to enjoy the process early for these episodes of listening to them, you can get a membership on the YouTube channel, or our website, glitterandcatlitter.com. Okay, enjoy. I feel like now's a pretty fitting time for us to talk about enjoying the process.
I agree.
Because for those of you, there's no reason anybody would know. So for the reason that you don't know, a little backstory is that, everything that we do, it's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
We
and
can make it
don't sing too much because then we might get,
no.
exactly.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll stop.
So we're two people, obviously. I love doing the business stuff with you and spending time with you, but like, it's really awesome. And sometimes it's less than really awesome. But I've felt that in us shifting all sorts of things behind the scenes and like actually making our business much more functional for us and less businessy. No,
Yeah.
it's still fully businessy. Anyway, we changed a lot of stuff around, fixed some really bad habits that we've created, and really leaned into this whole like actually having a plan thing, which we've always had, but it was very loose.
We also had a hard time following set plan.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the time I just kind of said, "Hey, Nicole, here's the plan. Have fun. See ya."
Yeah.
And then I just hoped that you would do it. But
didn't work out so well.
In the process of all of this, I was starting to really feel like I had all of the information I could possibly need to know what was going on, yet I could never figure out what was going on. And I could never grasp or get a grip on what was going on. And it was driving me absolutely insane. Like very stressed out and anxious every day. And I was just like, we got to do something to stop this, because if this is the future of everything, I don't want to do it. And I know that that's self-inflicted, so we needed to change it. And so we sat down and spent I think it was probably like a whole day on planning when our personal due dates were, and when we were going to post stuff and share and promote and do all the things, and when we had to get things done and all the things for all of our stuff. And it was wild, but it was a giant relief until we realized that we did that with 2.5 to 3 weeks to get 2 to 3 months worth of stuff done.
Yeah. And let me also say that I do this a lot and set very unrealistic goals for myself without discussing them with you, because once I say them out loud, Taylor is like my sounding board, and he's usually like, "Nicole, that won't work." Like, you do realize there is not enough time in the day to actually make that work and do a great job at it. So we should rethink this. So this was like the first time we actually sat down together with all of the new business stuff in play to actually figure out deadlines.
Yes. And I guess with the self-promotion of this in here, all of the new business stuff is we have all of our skating stuff. We have these podcasts. We have our health and wellness stuff.
And I'm doing vlogs every week.
And you're doing vlogs every week.
And Taylor is doing some more creative stuff.
And I'm doing more creative stuff that hopefully one day all of you will actually get to enjoy. Currently, it's in the research and development phase is what I'll call it.
I went to the dentist today, and I hadn't seen him in like a month. And he was like, "So what's new?" And I almost was like, "Oh, not much." Like the normal nonchalant answer. And I was like, "Actually a lot." And he was like what? Like genuinely curious. And I was like, "Well, this and this and this." And he was like, what? Like, I haven't seen you in a month. Like, it has not been that long. And I was like, yeah, a lot is happening.
Yeah. Yes. And I can say that there's been a lot of good in that, and there's been a lot of not as awesome in that. But I think that it all is going to turn out to be a good thing. Hopefully.
Let's
I'm
hope
hoping.
so.
It's been really stressful, to say the least. But our goal was to get everything that was supposed to be done because we're trying to be a month and a half ahead.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be a month and a half ahead. So we wanted to get everything done,
Basically,
everything on time. But the timeline is like the middle of the month to get everything done for not the next month, but the month after that, which is a month and a half. But because we put this plan into play in the middle of the month, it made it weird. So we really pushed one of the deadlines, or like all of them, to yesterday, which is July 31st. So we're recording this on August 1st. Anyway.
Basically, it was putting like 3 months of work
literally 3 months of work
into 3 weeks.
Yes. Which is wild. And I can't believe that we actually did it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But all that to say,
good job.
It's mostly you, I feel like, but that's great.
Good job, me.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back a couple times there. I feel like this is the closing of a chapter, or the ending of a chapter. How would you say that? Because it's not the end of a boat. It's not the end of a book.
Or a boat.
Or a boat. Anyway, I feel like it's the
closing of
chapter
one
ending and then a new chapter beginning. I'm hoping. It doesn't directly feel like that, but I have a feeling. I've kind of had this feeling for like at least a week now, and I've mentioned it to you a couple times, of like, I feel like this is going to be one of those things where it's a cornerstone moment in our lives and careers of how we've grown and got to the better place. I feel like we finally are in a better headspace and a better everything, to where this is actually going to translate into something. I don't even want to say good. Better, but I want to say like, yeah, better, because it's more productive, but not even really productive. Just better planned, better thought out, better schedule, more time to figure it out, more time to like have an idea, sit on the idea, make sure you can improve the idea again, and then keep going with your idea. But I would love to be able to look back at this and be like, that time actually did benefit us a lot. Unlike the previous times we've tried to do the same thing, where we look back and go, what did we learn from that? Hardly anything. Dope.
It's like you look back and you're like, well, that didn't work. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Which it is, you do learn from everything. But yeah, hopefully I do feel I have a lot of emotions tied into it, because I feel like we've traded off on mental breakdowns.
100%.
Like he had one day and I was his support, and then I had one another day and he was my support, and it's just been a roller coaster of it. But a lot. What? I'm
sorry, I don't want to stop you, but like I just had a visual of Nacho Libre in my head. And I'll be Nacho and you'll be Esqueleto, but you're just like, you're having the mental breakdown and you crawl over and you high five, and then I jump in and have the mental. It's like tag team lucha libre wrestling.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's honestly how it has felt. But we'll get into one of your breakdowns. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I literally wrote down in some notes. I was like, I let him like break down. I was there to support him. I let him like dump his feelings and emotions onto me. And then I took a nap. Literally, I took a nap.
Where did you take a nap?
In front of you while you were breaking down. You took some time. We'll get into that.
Huh, I don't recall that.
I slept for 45 minutes. I was out cold for 45 minutes. And I woke up and you were like, I figured it out. And I was like, cool. Huh, we'll get into that. Don't worry. But this whole new expansion of our business is what I will call it, has been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of shifting for Taylor particularly, because we've always been here working side by side. And in all the skating stuff, it's obviously my thing. It's my work. It's my vision. It's my stuff that he helps with a lot. But now it is both of us. It's not just like my thing. It's our thing. And it's health and wellness. And then it's the podcast. And it's the first time that he is like front facing alongside me. And I think that was a huge step. And I'm very glad. I'm very proud. I'm very happy that he did it because I do want everyone to experience how wonderful he is. But I think it's a lot to deal with for you. And I don't think I anticipated that. I selfishly loved to see how stressed you got because I was like, yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot to take on. And it made like any stress that I've felt over the past few years validated, which I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, yeah, this is a lot for someone to deal with. So selfishly, I was like, yes, okay. And then I was like, oh, this is bad. This is real bad because I need him to be good, to help. And so I'm good. Again, selfishly, this is all just selfish is what I'm realizing. I want you to be good as well for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a lot for him to deal with. And that's part of it is those freakouts and the pressure, and all of it is all part of the process. And yeah, hopefully coming out the other side and seeing and looking back, hopefully we can appreciate it for what it was.
I think that's kind of where we're gonna get to. I mean, I don't think of a lot in that we've done or in like our past that I don't sit there and go like, okay, well, there's at least whether like I see that there was negatives to it, I still don't like just view it as bad. Like I view it as like, oh, well, sure, like maybe that wasn't good, or like maybe like, oh, I definitely shouldn't have done that, or like, however I go, ooh, yeah, I apologize for that. But like, there's like, I don't know, I'm not going to dwell on the negative stuff with that because like what good is me dwelling on the negative of it going to do? Just like acknowledge that it exists. If you have to apologize because you really did something that deserves an apology, then do it.
Yeah.
And then like go. Like,
and yeah, when you look back at your life, at least I hope we all can appreciate the good and the bad because we hopefully learned from the bad. Do you have something in your eye?
I got something. I'm sorry. I keep going. There's something in there. That
I thought he was like crying at first, and I was like, "Wow, that's interesting."
I'm sorry. For those of you listening, there's like something on my eyeball. Oh, there it is. Got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I was a little sleepy.
Aw.
Got it. Okay, we're good. Anyway, back to the scheduled programming here.
So anyway, I hope that everyone, and I know from my own experience, like even the good things that happen, you hardly ever think of the good, like that top moment. Of course, like I relate it to winning the world championships. Like I remember that moment, but in reality, when I think about it, I think about the whole process. I think about all the hard days of training and like what I learned and all that stuff. I don't think about that one top moment.
I would say that you're very alone in that.
Really?
Hold on. Oh man, there was a little bug on
I
your
know,
mic. I was gonna get it. I would say I honestly think that you're actually more alone than with others, because at least if I like pick a random moment with you right now, right? I guarantee you the process of getting there, being there, whatever happened in the middle of it, you're not going to remember all of the process. You're going to remember the key cornerstone moment, which is like the reason that you're wherever I would pick the moment of, or the reason that I would even bring it up, right? Like us getting married. First thing you think of is being on the roof, who was there, the emotions that you felt.
I actually don't.
What do you think of?
Me driving to your house and the emotions I felt when I wasn't yet with you.
See, that I would say that's like when I think like us getting married, right? I literally go, okay, I know where it was. I remember who was there. I remember I only remember a portion of the feelings, which I assume that anybody that's been in a wedding or something, or their own wedding or something that's similar to that, or like a scenario that's not necessarily like same
Yeah.
height, but like a situation where like it was recorded or something, like, or a performance, I guess would be a good one too, is like you don't really, there's no chance you remember the whole thing. You remember like
No.
little baby pieces, and there's a reason that those stick with you, and I don't know that I know why. But regardless, what I'm saying is my memory is all of those like points, not specifically like the process, which obviously if you have that as your thoughts, you're not alone in that. But I definitely do not think of the drive there or anything until I start processing it, right?
Yeah.
Because like right now, I can start to tell you about the car ride there, and I can start to tell you about like immediately after, and like what we did, where we went, what was happening before. I could start to tell you all of it because now I'm focusing on it. But
like first thought, it's not that
first
at all.
thought, no chance. It's literally who was there and why we were there and where we were.
Which makes a lot of sense.
But I guess I kind of cut you off a little bit.
No, I was just going to get into like with us working together, it is just the two of us. And that's great because there's not too many moving parts. Like I always fall into not realizing that a lot of times in a lot of different scenarios, less is more. Like it's oftentimes better that it is just the two of us. We've had other people working with us. We've worked with other people before. And even when it was just the two of us, we did have Julia for a period of time. And that was wonderful in a lot of aspects. But we realized that it did need to be just the two of us for a while, and that our energies were enough to deal with and to like try to wrap ourselves around. But now like it just being the two of us is stressful at times because we have so much to do and it's only two people. But we have to remember it's also a really good thing because it is just the two of us to manage. And I forget that.
Yeah, that having it be really small means that you can be really nimble, but at the same time, that also means that accomplishing really big, high aspirations is a lot more difficult. But you're lucky that you're really talented and that I have been told that I am quite talented. So, but I would say that in this whole process of the last 3 weeks that like there's definitely been a lot of the time that I've completely lost sight of like why we're doing this, what we're doing, what on earth the point of us doing any of this is, or do we even bother continuing any of this?
Mm-hmm.
And there hasn't been anything specifically that I'm like, nah, we're done, you know?
Yeah.
But it's been like, is this worth our time now? Is this, and then at the same time, I'm like, is it even worth me thinking about if it's worth our time? Why would I even stop? Like,
yeah,
it's enjoyable. So like what, at least for us, like do it because you like it. And then if other people like it too, awesome.
right.
Not do it because other people are going to like it. Because then you're going to hate it at some point or resent it. And then you're never going to want to do it. And then you become salty and upset and kind of grumpy. And then when you have people see you in public and bring something up, you're like, but
I still can't do that with
yeah,
my mouth.
that's
It's
okay.
very
But
frustrating.
But like in losing sight of all of that, I was just like, we get to do this though. Like, I mean, obviously we chose it, and I'm living in the bed I made or whatever the analogy is. But like, this is because we chose to be here and we chose to do it, and we get to do it. And I'm so thankful that I get to call it a job.
Right. It's
like,
wild.
Like our ideal days, which is wild, and it's funny because like literally our ideal day is what we do every day pretty much, which is kind of crazy, and that's very lucky. But it's also very much like we had a realization the other day. I don't remember who had it. Doesn't matter. That work to us is not work to most people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get to do things like you get to teach people how to roller skate, and you get to walk people through exercises, or they follow along through exercises, and people listen to us talk on this podcast and all of this stuff. And that's what you offer to people as your profession. But it's also your art, And it's also what makes you happy and what you would do whether people were paying you or not.
Right.
So it's like you're super lucky that that is your job, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Right? So your ideal day involves all the things that literally are what you do, which is like such a hard thing to grasp. And I feel like it's a hard thing for me to just sit and grasp too, because it's like me helping make all of that happen.
Right.
And me having the understanding of like where all these lights are. Like, you guys aren't going to know this, and there's no reason you would know this, but there's 4 lights right now. There's 2 moving blankets or sound blankets, whatever you want to call them, 5 stands, a whole computer setup, a camera that has 5 cables plugged into it, all routed in, a whole mixing board right down here that has 2 microphones, 2 headphones, and another output going to the camera. And then we have our iPads and our notes and our micro. Like, there's a lot happening that she wouldn't have been able to do. And I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't care about this stuff. And then there's a whole computer recording the whole thing again over there. So there's a lot that's happening around it that like, I still don't feel like that's a valid reason for me to be involved.
And
which
that
is so crazy to say.
Wild. It's like no matter what you're doing in life, your mind is gonna find a way to play tricks on you to be like, is this what you should be doing? Are you wasting your time? Are you doing something important?
But those aren't even the things that I'm spending my time on thinking necessarily. I'm more sitting here like, yeah, sure, great. You can do those things, but where is that valuable? Like, how is that valuable?
Right. And that's so wild to me that is even a thought, because I'm trying to say, like, no matter what you're doing, you're still going to think that you should, like, maybe you're doing the wrong thing, or you don't know what you're doing, or, you know, you could be doing the thing you dream of doing and you're like, am I doing this wrong? Well, no, you're not. Like,
you might be, but but honestly, that's kind of part of it.
That's part of your path. And that's like what you're supposed to be doing in that moment. If you do love what you do, then obviously that's amazing. Like, that is the goal. And so our realization the other day about us working was that we tried to do so many different things, like in our process of work together, and especially in my process of working, that did not work for us. And it took us being so miserable where we were to be like, wait a minute, why are we doing it this way? Are we doing it this way because we think we're supposed to be doing it this way? And it was like, we'll get into the details of it, but basically we had to sit back and think, okay, our work is the stuff we actually love to do. So why are we putting parameters on it? Like, why aren't we just letting ourselves be free? And if one day I do want to work until 2 a.m. and I'm being super creative, like, why not just let myself do that? Why am I putting parameters on it?
It's one of those things where you have to figure out what works for you. And it took us a really long time to figure out what works for us. And we were trying to take things that like companies use and like that make like organizations work. And we were trying to make that fit our lifestyle, that our lifestyle never was meant to be and never will be. Like, I already know it's never going to be that. And from my previous experiences for years and years now, it's never going to be that. And that's okay. And honestly, it's kind of better. But like, it took us forever to be in the wrong place with our headspace and our work to realize that. And that kind of ties into like, we could have been enjoying that miserable process or like experiencing the process more than we were, instead of, I wouldn't call us taking it for granted, but I would say that we were most definitely not present in that process. We were very like I wouldn't say out of body, but it was very like we were just so trying to focus on the wrong things that we were not doing the best we could have with what we had. Yeah. And how we were offering those things. And I just like recently, I just keep running into so many posts and so many like people and things that are, everything is saying like, don't forget to enjoy the process. Don't lose sight of why you're doing it, and love the process, because that's what you have.
That's what it is.
That's the entire thing. is it's just the process. And the process, even when it sucks a little bit, is meant to be fun.
You know what? You actually made a really good point a few weeks ago.
Oh, boy.
Or a few months ago.
Oh, boy.
I know. Buckle up. I I was like being miserable, and Taylor just like stopped me and looked at me and was like, "Why are you rushing to do the thing? Like, why aren't you enjoying the space you're in?" And I was like, "'Cause I just want to get the thing." And he was like, "Do you look at death that way? Like, we're all going to die. Why are you like wanting to get to the death? Like, enjoy your life." And I was like,
leave it to
what?
me to make it.
I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Oh no. What am I doing? Yeah, you said that. You told me that.
When? I don't know. What were we talking? I don't even, we're not even going to get there. But I do want to say that, like, I have to tell myself this and I have to tell you this. And like, enjoying the process is not the easiest thing. And remembering that the process is the thing that's fun, and like figuring out how to do stuff and learning new things, and just saying, screw it, we're going to try it and see what happens. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, hopefully we didn't spend too much money and just absolutely burn everything to the ground. And, but like in the process, there's going to be growth. And there's gonna be like improvement, and then there's gonna be failure and frustration. And like, you're gonna realize at some point that you're literally still doing it, even when you're so mad that you're still doing it. And it's like, why are you doing it? And anytime that I catch myself there, I literally am like, well, I've made it this far. Why would I stop now?
Yeah.
Like, what good does it do if I stop now? Like,
obviously, if you're completely miserable and you're not, then obviously stop.
Well, I don't know, though. That might be bad. Because you're completely miserable, like, you can safely say that you were completely miserable for some of this, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't stop, and now we have all this stuff.
Okay, if it's detrimental to your health.
You can say the same to that, too. Don't give bad advice.
Taylor also gave me some good advice the other day when I was talking about YouTube videos, and I'm like trying to up my storytelling game and like working on my YouTube. And I was so mad and so upset, and because he was giving me what's the word, criticism on my video, and I was not taking it well.
It was a criticism sandwich right there.
And
round 2 was I had to give her 2 rounds of criticism because I did it wrong the first time, and then I had to say, ignore that I said anything, and then I came back and said it as a compliment sandwich.
Yeah, which was much better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But it was pretty bad either way. But we were talking about failure, and like my whole life I've not wanted to do things unless I was going to be good at it. And then very quickly realized I'm not good at a lot of things, and I do have to fail in order to get good. And he was like, well, do you feel like you're succeeding or do you feel like you're failing? And I was like, I feel like I'm failing. And he was like, then you're already there. Like, good job. That's part of the process. And I was like, I don't like it here. And he was like, well, let's get you out of here. Like, let's make it better. You're already failing. So what do you want to do now? Like, the worst is already, your thought of the worst thing is already happening. It's already in front of you. So let's work on getting you out of it. And I was like, oh, you're right. The thing I'm afraid of, which is failing, is already happening. So now we have to work our way out of it and get better.
Man, I like it when you tell stories about me saying something, about me giving you advice. I
mean, you're good at it, but I'm not as good at giving it to you. I'm a good listener.
Yeah, you're not very good at talking.
No.
But
I feel like
you're getting better.
Thank you.
You'll notice through the podcast that she continues to get better, unless we start releasing them out of order. If we start releasing them out of order, you might see some wild stuff from Nicole.
Who knows? But we are getting ahead, which is amazing. That's like something that never has happened.
That is wrong. We're getting on schedule.
Okay, you're right. But
you getting in the headspace. This is actually something I will say. If you run your own business, Or you do anything where you can make your own timelines and schedules and due dates and stuff, and you have that luxury and that ability. When you are actually ahead, but you're trying to get yourself to always be there, never, ever refer to it as ahead.
Yeah.
Never.
That
Because
is really good advice.
it's a dangerous place to be, because if you refer to it as ahead, what you've just given yourself is you can be there and now you can be lazy. And now you are like, oh, well, I'm ahead 2 months or a month and a half. So I have a month to just kind of mess around.
Which I have done.
Yes, you did it with 3 full months.
3 months.
Which is not, it's fine. It's not really, it doesn't relate exactly the same as this. But very true. If your goal is to always be a month or 2 ahead, or whatever your goal for aheadness is to be, refer to it as on time.
Yeah.
On
that's
time's
really
not
good advice.
today. On time's not tomorrow. If your on time is supposed to be next month, and that's exactly where you're at right now, you're on time. You're not ahead. And now if you go get another month ahead, now you're ahead. Now you're just planning and you're trying to like be a little safe. But that's a dangerous place to be, because you lose sight really quick of what on schedule means.
Yeah.
And that was very true for you, is like we aren't ahead with like podcasts and everything. We're actually not even on schedule. We're super behind with podcasts right now.
Yeah.
We're
getting on schedule.
This week we're supposed to record 4 just to get on our schedule that we kind of were a little too laid back on, that we didn't want to. Anyway, moving on.
But like back to when we did start working together, like Taylor was coming from a 9 to 5 and he tried, it was all out of very good intent. And he tried to help me like get into my scheduling and like lay things out for me. And it did not work. And he was like, how on earth do you get stuff done? And it was like, that was the magic of it, was my process, even though it it was right for me at the time. When I look back now, you coming in, it did need to shift, and it did. But we tried to put so many different things on our stuff, like only work from this time to this time. We have to communicate about this thing this way. And it was like, wait, no, we don't need to do that. We just need to figure out what works for us.
Yeah, it literally took 3 years of us figuring out what worked and what didn't work. And it turns out that honestly, basically, like if you're trying to pay for all sorts of productivity stuff, I don't know why this has become like a small business suggestions podcast, but if you're trying to pay for all sorts of productivity stuff, or honestly, most things, if you're trying to pay for it, I promise there's probably a free, like a legal free offering for whatever you're trying to do. And it's probably great. It probably works exactly right. There's plenty of paid stuff that we use that is awesome, that works well for us, but I can almost guarantee you that we're not paying for stuff if we don't have to, especially when it comes to productivity and stuff. Like, we use Apple reminders for our work stuff. We use Apple calendars. I mean, we have some Google calendars too, because Google accounts and stuff. But
those
we
are
use
also
Gmail.
Free and everything.
Yeah, we're not paying for any of the productivity stuff that, like, you know, all of them have really good selling points and all of them are really cool. But like, see if the free stuff works for you before you go to something else. Like,
try it out.
If you can save yourself some money, do it. Okay.
And if they have a free trial, try that too.
Yeah, but the free trial is just digging you into the grave of, you got to pay for it forever if you don't need it.
I tried some like social posting things last week and I did the free trial and I was like, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah, that's still a dodgy one. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But I would say in productivity tools, because we got here, just free stuff. There's tons of free stuff. Google Tasks, Microsoft has stuff, Apple has stuff. Whatever your favorite one is, use those. Whatever you and whoever you work with, whatever works best for both of you or all of you, use those. Don't add friction to it. Don't one of you use something else and the other one use something else. You just got to sacrifice it and all use the same thing, because it does not work to use separate stuff. And share all your things with each other.
We also had a discussion this morning on the day of the week, what day it started on, because for years we've had our calendars start on Monday. And over the past few weeks, I've like figured out that I kind of need to shift it to Sunday, like for posting schedules, for YouTube, for like all this stuff. It's just easier because all those calendars on the sites are set to Sundays. But it was like a big discussion between us because if I had my calendar start on Sunday and his still started on Monday, I can guarantee we were going to get stuff messed up.
100% we were going to do things on the wrong day if we didn't line it up. But also like it doesn't really matter anymore because we were trying to fit a schedule that didn't. It doesn't matter. Anyway, back to enjoying the process and being present in the process. A good example that I was thinking of when I was writing about this is working out. So I don't know how much of this we've mentioned. I don't think we've mentioned very much of this. So, in March of 2023,
Sure.
I think. Regardless, at the beginning of this year, 2023.
Yeah.
First section of this year. I decided that I needed to actually really take myself I needed to get to a self that I liked because I didn't really like who I was mentally. I really didn't like who I was physically. Had never. I liked myself more than ever before, but I was like, well, if this is only like a fraction closer, I gotta like pony up and try to get way closer because this isn't doing anything. So we took our health and mind and wellness far more seriously than ever before. And we kind of dipped our toes in the pool a year or so ahead of this. But
I was going to say, like our mental breakdowns, we also take turns with these good parts too.
Yeah.
Because I started it for my 30th birthday last year. And then the beginning of this year, so about 6 months later, Taylor was like, okay, I really want to do this for real.
Yeah. And that goes back to like, you have to be the one to make the decision for yourself. Cause like you can tell me all day and I can hear you and I can agree, but I'm not going to actually do it until I actually like am committed to myself. Anyway. So we went through the process of like actually talking to our friend and trainer. And I'm like, hey man, I really want to look the best I possibly can. And I gave him some examples of what I would like my body to look like and what it would require. And we just dove headfirst into it. And 10 weeks later, I'd lost 20 pounds, which I don't know that any of you would have thought that I had 20 pounds. I thought I had like maybe 10 at most.
Brian knew you had 20 pounds.
He said I had like 6.
Oh, I thought he said
No, he thought I had 6. So the moral of this part of the story is I had very little to no muscle and a lot of fat on me. I was not fat, but I had a lot of fat.
Yeah.
I guess for the numbers, I was at like 18% body fat. I'm now at like 9 to 10% body fat. So anyway, I lost 20 pounds and then in 10 weeks. And then the next 8 weeks, I essentially more than doubled my muscle. And I'm still not quite to where my goal is, but I wanted to get closer to my goal way sooner than I'm there or than I am now. But like, honestly, it's life. I'm not that worried about it. I can say that this is not the healthy mindset that I've been in the whole time. And that's why this story comes up. But that's kind of been our journey since March, and we're in August now. And it's been crazy, but I bring this up because very often I catch myself sitting or like looking at like my body and like checking in and weighing myself and dealing with like our nutrition and stuff. And I go, why can't I be at my goal already? Like, why am I not at my goal? Like, I'm doing all the things. Why am I not there? Why don't I look like what I want to look like? Is my muscle not there? Like, why can't it just be instant? Why do I have to do this? And I'm super frustrated with all of these tiny little incremental changes. And some days I weigh like 2 pounds more, even though I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And then the next day I'm like 3 pounds lighter. Why is this how this is going?
Right.
And then I realize, like, as I think about it now, And like, as it continues to happen and as I continue to just like let it be a little bit more and take a little bit more of my like hands off and just kind of like, just keep going, stop focusing on it so much, just go do everything. Don't like fall off the rails and just ignore everything you've done, but like follow your path and just keep going, but don't focus on it. Just do all the things and ignore it and just let it be. Check in like once every couple weeks, every week, you know, like keep doing it, but just check in once and like reevaluate. And then I realized that like, if it weren't for all of those little changes and all of those little frustrations, I wouldn't be able to think exactly what I'm thinking now because I wouldn't have been frustrated.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have had to tell myself like, oh, it's literally just the way you exist. It's literally just the way your body works. It's just the way that my body is going through all of these things. And like, I don't know that I would appreciate where I'm at now if I didn't go through all of that.
Yeah.
Also, side note, I don't know that we've brought this one up. Maybe we will. We'll probably dive deeper into this in a different thing. But like, if you are trying to like lose weight and change your body and body composition and gaining muscle or you know losing muscle, whatever it is that your change is that you're trying for, you have to like have somebody around you that can help check you, because I catch myself way too often getting so caught up in the details of like this. It's not TMI, but this is like a much more personal one. Like I keep looking at my stomach or like my leg fat and I'm like so annoyed with it. And then I like sent a photo to our trainer and he's like, dude, you're like literally at the goal you had. And I'm like, well, that goal's been updated now because this ain't it. And I'm like, but I go, oh, wow. Okay. That's okay. Reset. Look at like the reference photos I sent him. Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay. Not quite to where I want to be, but really close.
But the process is hard and it's miserable. And that's why not a lot of people do it. That's why people give up. Like I told my mom, I was on the phone with my mom yesterday and we were talking about this and she was talking about food and I was like, well, I'm really trying to focus on what I'm eating right now. And she was like, I thought you were done with that. Like you've been doing that for a long time. And I was like, no, I kind of stopped and I am just now like refocusing on it. And she was like, but you look fine. Like the normal, good, helpful mom thing of like, you look great. And I was like, yes, but thank you. But this is the first time that I'm taking the time, like that I'm actually taking the time to understand my body and to really like dive into what I do. And that all takes time because it's all research and it's all part of the process that you have to try different things. You have to maybe take something out of your diet, maybe try something as a workout, and all of that takes time. It can't just happen. Unfortunately, that would be amazing if it could just happen, but that's not going to teach us much if it just happens.
I also thought about that and I'm like, I would for sure not appreciate it. And like, I definitely wouldn't be aiming to make this fitness level something that I do for the rest of my life. It would be more of like a, well, I got there, so now I don't have to do it anymore. Yeah. You know, especially if it was way more instant. I'd be like, I probably don't have to keep working out. I got this far this fast, so like I don't have to keep doing it. And whatever, it's not gonna be that hard to do it again.
I've done that every single time.
Well, I can tell you the amount of time that it's taken us to get here now, ain't no way I'm letting this slip. There's no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. But I you know, if none of these things are helping like you understand or like just talking about like being present in the process and enjoying the process, like another one that going back to the life one that I brought up before, I didn't realize that, but when I was writing this, but I was thinking about it, I'm like, wait, literally enjoying the process is the exact same thing as life. Like if we just want the end, I don't want that. I kind of don't even want to talk about that. I don't know, that scares me. But like, if the end is we die, I don't want to go there. Yeah. Like that's not what I want. all of this other stuff. Like all this other stuff is way more interesting to me and way more exciting, even though it sucks sometimes. There's so much cool stuff. We live in a really crazy time, but it's also really, really cool. You know, I mean,
and like I know a lot of older people in my life. I've just always been surrounded by a lot of older people, and watching them, I don't want to get emotional.
Then why'd you go there? Okay, we'll skip out of that one.
No. It's important because when you watch someone you love go through something like health scares or just the worst possible thing, it all comes to light very quickly that like, oh, we may not have a ton of time. Like, this is not guaranteed. Like we just have right now. And so it's like, if you're not enjoying that process and then you look back on it and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's when you actually feel the regret and like you wish you had done things differently. So it's like knowing that and seeing that and like seeing people you love dying and like just even at a fairly young age, like life can get taken away so quickly that it's like, why not enjoy it? Like the alternative is not great. Like
what, being miserable?
Yes. But like I even think about like getting older and stuff, and Taylor always makes fun of me because I love old people, and he's like, "What? Why?" And he's like, he's like, "I want you to love me, not these like old men that you meet." And I'm like, "Well, I love old people because they just seem so like they've lived so much and they're so wise, or they're not, and then that's funny." But it's like all of the older people that I know, they don't look back on their lives and are like, oh, they may say like, I wish I did this thing differently, but it's all the things they've learned. It's all the things they've messed up or done well. And they like want to tell you about it. And that's what I love. And I always think about it. I'm like, I can't wait to be old. And I'm like, wait, I shouldn't be like wanting that. I should be enjoying the process of getting there and actually enjoying this path that I'm on.
I think you're also forgetting that like you have a lot of those same lessons that you've already done. And that's kind of the point of this.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here, is sharing a lot of the experiences that we've had that might help people. And honestly, are just us being like, hey, look, this is some stuff we've done that's awesome. This is some stuff we've done that like maybe isn't that awesome.
And the stuff we're actually currently learning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like, I wrote a note here and I don't know where this is going, but it seemed like it was pretty useful. So I can try and wing it. I put a reason for enjoying the process, I guess. And it would be, I was thinking about frustration and like sleeping. I don't know. Okay, screw that. I don't know what I was referencing. You know what I was referencing?
No, but I was going back to your mental breakdown that we were talking about. And I said
haven't gotten there yet.
Took a nap.
Was it for Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost there. I just want to make sure that like, even though sometimes the process is not fun, you have to have the ebb and the flow, you know, like the enjoyment of life doesn't exist, or the enjoyment of a situation doesn't exist if you don't know what not enjoying it would be like.
Right.
Because if you don't have anything that's not that awesome, then you're never going to know what awesome is. Because if everything's just awesome, then it's all going to just kind of feel just whatever after a little bit.
Yeah, it becomes bland.
Because if it's all just success or whatever you view as like positive, happy success, then you're never actually going to feel it as greatly as someone who has experienced something that's less successful or not happy. And then,
yeah.
So basically it's like, it's not always going to be amazing, but that's what makes the amazing times more amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Had to get another one in there just in case. But that brings up Vegas. Oh, Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
What a place. I can start by saying that I can't say I've ever been fond of Las Vegas. Never been my cup of tea. Don't really love clubs. Don't love the late nights. really don't love paying more than women for everything, no matter what.
That is true. If you've
Don't
never been to Las Vegas and you are a man, you're going to pay more than the woman.
if you're a man, bring multiple women, and they better be attractive. And not just like you're attractive, the Vegas standard of attractive.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to believe that that's true, it's for real. And you will still have to pay probably, but the girls don't. So, you know, if y'all split it and you're all a group, then it's a lot cheaper. That wasn't the whole point of this, but anyway, I've learned that I think I don't mind Vegas. I would say it's not so bad. If you're with the right company and you're in the right headspace, you can kind of enjoy anything. And I think that I kind of enjoyed Vegas. But I don't get your little hopes up over here that I'm going to be going to Vegas. That's an expensive place that I don't want to spend the money in.
It doesn't need to be expensive, though. You don't need to do the expensive things.
Who are you talking to?
Okay, you don't. Okay, yeah, maybe with you.
Yeah, well, and you now. Don't forget who you are.
I'm not that person.
Oh, yeah, okay, you sure are.
The thing I love most about Vegas is people watching, which we didn't do much of this last time.
Okay, look, I'm not going to stand outside in 112-degree weather to watch a human, and I'm pretty certain that we can do that at Disneyland for $0.
Well, we paid a little up front, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but you go like once a month and it's more than paid for itself. Okay, but so with this trip to Vegas, I was not in a good way. I was in the deepest point of my stress that I have been in probably a decade, I would say.
And it was just an accumulation of everything that was happening. And it's funny when we look back on all this stuff and we actually say it out loud because it is all self-inflicted. Like we work for ourselves and we are both roles. We are like the person getting in trouble and we're also the boss who's mad. So it's like, it's a lot to come together and it all came piling down in this one moment.
Yeah. And I literally was ready to not go. We had paid for the hotel and everything, and I was like, nah, screw this. We're staying home. I can't do this. I'm not going to people. I'm not going to a place I don't like. I don't want to go outside in the heat. I'm not paying for expensive dinners and a club and you name it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, there was a moment.
It was not just a moment. That was like a few hours.
Well, so he like laid everything out to me, and which you didn't want to stress me out. You didn't want to put like your worries and your thoughts onto me, but you had to. Like you had to let it go a little bit. So you put that on me, and I supported you as best I could in that moment.
Oh, you fell asleep while I redid our taxes.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So when I was like thinking about that, I was like, be supportive. Let them dump their stuff on you and then take a nap.
Yeah.
Because when I woke up, he felt better.
Yeah, better is very subjective here. Yeah, so it doesn't. The rest of that doesn't matter. Basically, I was so overwhelmed with everything, and I had to. My brain is I have to understand what's going on, and if I don't understand what's going on, it's only going to cause me stress and anxiety, even if the result means something that's very stressful. Like I'm more like, cool, great, whatever. I'll figure it out. We'll be fine.
As long as you know.
As long as I'm aware and I know that I'm not like being like slighted or anything, then like we're good. And I was full on ready to not go. And then at some point I was just kind of like, nah, you know what? I can't not go. I have to. And I was like, and honestly, less than 24 hours with a change of scenery in situations that I guarantee I'm not going to be comfortable, and it's going to be like way out of my comfort zone and out of things that I normally would enjoy, and it's all going to be a lot of like quote unquote negative, and I'll just like let it happen and see where I go and how I am and like see what happens. And I was like, nah, that could not have come in better time, but like also, it kind of came at the worst time.
Yeah,
like,
it's very interesting how that happens.
But it definitely helped to get out of my comfort zone and to go do all that. And I will say that I'm not a person that is going to wing it. I'm not, I mean, I will with like shooting a video, but again, it kind of all ties together. So like, I'm not going to wing it.
No.
I'm not that type of person. I'm not into, I'm also not like, I have a plan and it's down to the minute and we're doing it. I'm not that person
very much
either.
in the middle.
Yes.
I was talking about this.
I'm very much cool. I have an idea what's going on. Great. Whatever's in the middle there doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like I too am not like a carefree, go with the flow person. I like to have sort of a plan, but like my plans are very jumbled. Taylor is way more like he understands the plan and he knows what he's going to do. I'm like, well, I have an idea.
I think you give me too much credit.
But like what you just said about shooting like a video, if you don't understand, you're mad about it. Like I have to actually tell you my idea, and you have to understand.
Okay,
before
this
we
is
do it.
This is a can of worms that I was not intending to go to, but here we're here.
Let's go.
So Nicole, if you haven't noticed through some of these podcasts yet, is pretty good at starting a thought and not ending the thought and interrupting a thought in the middle of the thought. So
it's my specialty.
When it comes to her ideas and a video that we are going to film, that is how it's conveyed. I don't have a singular full thought. And she goes, yeah, you know what we're doing, right? I'm like, I literally don't know what you want from me. And then when she tries to tell me what she wants to do, she goes, hey, so you should use this lens and you should do this thing, and tries to tell me all the technical stuff. And I look at her and I'm like, ma'am, I will throw it away. I will film it with a film camera and you will get nothing. Do not tell me how to do the thing that I am good at. Why don't you tell me the thing that I'm asking you, which is, what on earth could you possibly want from me for this video that gets your idea that you still haven't told me outside of you're wearing that outfit? I don't care about the outfit. The outfit doesn't matter.
What was important to me.
But it's not important to me.
I have a hard time explaining my ideas and getting them to a place that actually makes sense for the other person. I'm working on it. I've gotten better at it. But that is like as far as going with the flow as you go. Like, and that doesn't
does
work.
Not explain at all.
It doesn't work in filming because that would be a disaster if you were just like, whatever.
Well, hold on. Did you just try to say that my going with the flow is that I have to know every detail before I can understand it? Because that's not true.
No. But like talking about going with the flow and like being open to whatever, that's not either of our specialties.
No. Oh, well, give me a sandbox. That's what I'll say.
That's a good way of putting it.
Give me a sandbox. You tell me the just perimeter of what's going on. I don't care what's in it. We will make everything under that or inside that box. We'll make it happen. Even if it seems probably impossible, we'll make something happen.
Yeah.
We'll cook something up. We got some hot sand. It'll be great. But don't give me half a sandbox. Don't give me a quarter of a sandbox or 3/4. Give me the whole darn thing.
But what if I only have half a sandbox?
Nope, you have a full thing. You just aren't choosing to do it. We're not even going there.
It would be great if you could just go with the flow, though, in anything and everything. Like, I see people online that are probably not like that in real life that just seem so like, yeah, whatever. Okay. And it's like great things happen. And it's like, it's not really how it goes.
I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
And I think as someone who is not attuned to that, I would say that while it might seem all good, I would say that there's a lot of obliviousness to all of the things that aren't good that are happening around. Right?
Yeah.
And there is a like infectious positivity or like a blind positivity that like is great, and it's not a bad mentality to have, but like at some point I feel like it comes around.
My mom
I feel like it's a breaking point.
My mom used to say that about me. She was like, I don't understand how you just like do things, you don't worry about them, and good things just happen. And I was like, I'm so stressed out the entire time. What are you talking about? I'm not worried about things. But it's like sometimes you just are good at not showing it. And so people think that it's all amazing. But it's part of the process. But back to enjoying the process, to wrap that all up. Like I just keep hearing The Climb by Miley Cyrus in my head.
Don't sing it.
I'll play it for you later if you're not
I have
singing
no
it
idea,
in your head.
and honestly, I don't know that I want it.
Oh, it's a great song.
I
But
believe you.
Taylor kind of had to reset himself after that mental breakdown in time to help me with mine.
It came like the day after I reset.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was good timing.
But sometimes you just need to have those moments, and then you hopefully can look back and learn from it. And the next process, you can actually enjoy it. You had me write down trust the process when I was like going through a previous rough time.
I would say trusting the process is a very subjective or a very specific thing, because sometimes you can't necessarily trust the process. In your case, I would say that you could trust the process because it was a process that you had done 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It was not something new. It was like the back of your hand that you were overthinking, and you were making it way crazier than it was. So you had to trust your process that you knew worked, that you've done 100 times or more.
Yeah.
Now, if you're new to something and it's like first rodeo, third rodeo, 10th rodeo, don't just trust it. Like, trust some of it and like go for it, but like kind of be a little skeptical. Because if you're going to just do it and not like question and figure out and learn and grow from it, and you just blindly trust it, honestly, if it works, awesome.
Yeah.
I would be skeptical.
Yeah.
I would be concerned that something's coming that you're not aware of and you've forgotten something. And that would be a very scary place to be if you just trusted it and said, well, I trusted the process. And it's like, well, yeah, that process kind of bit you, didn't it? It's kind of like a rabid bunny.
But the process is it. The process is the magic.
Yes. It's the fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
We shall try. We shall do a better job than the last time.
Do we have any dessert? I kind of want something to dessert.
No, because you ate all the cookies. I can make more.
We have. What were you going to say?
What were you going to say?
No, I want to know what you were going to say.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say we have the little baby Reese's.
Ice cream sandwiches.
That's not how I say
better.
Reese's, by the way. I just need to clear that one up.
Okay, should we wrap this up since you're thinking about
literally
dessert?
did the wrap up, and now you're continuing to tell that we're
sorry.
going to wrap it up.
I'm going to enjoy this process of him wrapping it up. We hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that those little nuggets of small business stuff were helpful. Why are you staring at me like
You're
that?
wrapping it up. I'm waiting for it to be done. Okay. Are you going to do it, or am I going to do it?
If you would like to get episodes early and exclusive content, which we have a lot of really fun stuff that we need to put on there, you can get episodes early on Thursdays if you get a membership on our YouTube channel or glitteringcatlitter.com.
Please like and subscribe if you like us. And
leave a review.
Please.
Even if you don't like us, leave a review.
Oh, yeah. Tell us what we can improve on.
Yeah.
Goodbye.